Hi everyone, my name is Guillaume and welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone. Hello guys, I hope you're all doing fantastic today. Welcome to this new episode of Hit the Tone on Thomann's Guitars and Basses. If you're new to the series, I'm taking riffs, licks, bits of famous songs and try to give you all the tools you need to hit the tone. As usual, this is a recommendation-based format, so whatever song you'd like to see on the channel, please put it down in the comment section and I'll get to it as soon as possible. While you're down there, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much in advance. And now let's tackle today's song, which is Alive by Pearl Jam. The 90s era of music was vastly underrepresented on this channel, so I'm going to try and correct that with one of my favorite songs from Pearl Jam, which is Alive. Now I'm not going to cover all the guitar parts, as you know there's two guitar players plus Eddie Vedder picking up the guitar here and there, but I'm mostly going to focus on Stone Gossard tone, which led me to choose that particular guitar, which is a Gibson Les Paul Gold Top 20, I think it's the last, like it's this year's model, 2020. Very straightforward Les Paul, 2 humbucker, volume, tone, toggle, and yeah, it sounds like this in the bridge position. Now I think this guitar fits the bill because Stone usually used Les Pauls and notably gold tops, also a few bursts here and there, but yeah, essentially double humbucker guitar, regardless of the brand, regardless of the pickup, should do the trick just fine as long as you're in the bridge position, because it's a sound that's fairly rich in high end and it's kind of fizzy even, so I guess yeah, bridge is definitely the more suited for that kind of job. But with that said, let's jump onto the second part of that video, which is our amp and pedal setup. Now the information as to what Stone Gossard actually used to record Alive is very vague. As far as I could see on live videos and some forums here and there, it was a Marshall head, non-specified. I've seen several types, but let's say Marshall heads into Fender cabs, 410s if I'm right, which I might not be, in which case tell me in the comment section. But Marshall head, Fender cab, which could be responsible for that really fizzy kind of top end to the sound. And a very simple, straightforward kind of pedal board, maybe a chorus and a tube screamer on it. So to get there, or at least to get close, I am using the Marshall Studio JCM 800, the EQ will be on the screen, and I'm running the preamp gain full blast on 12. And that sounds like this. Now this is already a really satisfying tone and I think fairly close to the actual sound. That being said, his is a lot more, again, a lot fizzier, which could translate into more gain or not. I'm honestly not too sure about this, and since I read that he was using tube screamer pedals, I am going to add one in there, which is the right side of the JHS double barrel. Volume pretty much blasted, drive on 0, so just pushing the amp's gain and not adding more gain, and that's going to take us there. I also forgot to mention that the tone on it is running fairly high. Again, 410 cabs, react a lot differently than a 412 cab, let alone a 112 combo. So I'm not trying to get the exact same sound, but I think we're coming pretty close in terms of gain structure with that. Also present on the recording is a lot of reverb. As usual, I cannot say for sure if it's a reverb pedal, if it's a miking technique that was involved with a mic further away from the amp. But for the sake of that video, I'm going to use the Strymon Flint. Reverb dialed in pretty heavily, I would say about 1 o'clock. And on the 80s mode. I put that in the effects loop of the amp because the gain is coming from the preamp, so I wouldn't want to put the reverb before that. It would be too much in the way and get really messy. But with that said, the reverb sounds like this. So again, pretty heavy in the room. I don't know how it's going to come through with the recording and the YouTube compression and everything, but don't be shy on the reverb. It's really heavy within the song. Now, if you want a recap of everything that I've used to get there and some more suggestions to try and get to the same result with pedals at different price points and guitars and amps, there will be a link in the description box down below. And now that we're sorted with the sound, let's jump onto the last section of that video, which is, as usual, the most important, and is how to play the song. Now, if it's your first time on Hit the Tone and you're not much of a visual learner, don't worry, I got you covered. The tabs are available through a link in the description box down below as well. And very quickly, before we jump into the actual tutorial, I just realized that I forgot to mention that there was an intro sound, a very gainy sound, and a sort of verse guitar tone. I don't think there is any change whatsoever within the configuration, just a rollback on the volume knob. I'll show that once I go through the actual playing. So let's start with this and have a look at our fretting hand. Very straightforward. Let's now have a look at the picking side of it. Again, nothing too complicated with the picking, very consistent within the parts. That being said, because we're using amp gain, the touch and the intensity of your picking is going to matter maybe more in terms of how much you can clean up your sound with the volume knob. So if you go full blown on the intro and the chorus, maybe try and get to a lighter touch when you go down the verse, even though you roll your volume back. The fact that you're going to pick softer will make a difference. And with that said, I think that's it, guys. You have all the tools you need to hit the tone on Alive by Pearl Jam. As usual, I hope you had fun and I hope you learned something. If so, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And while you're down there, don't forget that this is a recommendation-based format, so go in the comment and let me know which song you want to see next, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. I wish you guys a fantastic day, fantastic week, and I will see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone.